How does Ilia Topuria fare against the top 10 ranked lightweights in the UFC? That's what we're going to be talking about today. Now, I did this video with Islam Makhachev yesterday for the welterweight division, and I noticed that the welterweight division is pretty stacked in contrast to the lightweight division in like certain aspects. I just feel like welterweight overall is a little bit more well-rounded. So when I was going through those stuff for Islam, I was like, yo, some of these fights are a little bit like, they're harder than I thought at first. Initially, I thought. Because at first I was like, oh, Islam's going to run through this when I do this video. Then I started looking at the rankings, and I'm like, wait. Why is welterweight low-key solid? And then when I was doing this video, like, and looking at the rankings between the lightweights and like comparing them to the welterweights, I was like, the lightweights aren't that, like, name value wise, they're nasty. Oh yeah, Max Holloway, Justin Gaethje, like, they have a lot of name value wise, but when I was comparing Ilia to them, I was having, I guess, an easier time seeing like paths to victory for Ilia Topuria, because it doesn't say Topuria, it says Topuria. Look at that little typo I noticed. I bet I pointed out to you too. You did not see that typo before I said that. But without further ado, let's get into the top 10 ranked lightweights, and I'm going to tell you guys how I think Ilia Topuria fares against them. So let's get into the video. Starting up with the number 10 ranked guy, which is Renato Moicano. Now, like, Ilia just has this striking and power advantage to a significant extent. And I said his grappling will be fine against Moicano. Yeah, dude, Moicano's a black belt, dude. He's a nasty black belt. He chokes at everyone. Moicano's grappling is there. But it's nothing to the point where, like, it's not like a Charles Oliveira level or to a point where I got to be like, oh my goodness, if he takes down Ilia, it's over. It's not that. I'm sure he's going to shoot takedowns against Ilia. You know, I know Ilia, like, has been taken down by people like Bryce Mitchell, but someone like Moicano, I just don't see him like being able to take down and dominate Ilia in the way that probably other people do. And I said it's inevitably going to be a KO, like inevitably. I said low difficulty. I seen Moicano strike in fight chat. Like, his striking is very mediocre. Even watching back the Islam against Moicano, a lot of the things that we thought Moicano was doing well, he didn't really do well at all. When you rewatch that fight, you see how flawless it actually was for Islam Makhachev. He barely got touched. I don't even know if he did get touched. Like, I swear, the one slip is the only thing that had our anxiety going through the roof. But I'm telling you, Ilia's going to put a real bad beating on him. Like, I'm talking about beats on him like Dr. Dre, you know, hands on him, lots of bass. When I go through this video, you're gonna notice that a lot of these guys do get the beats on them like Dr. Dre by Ilia, and I don't know what it is specifically, but I don't know, like, Ilia's style of striking will just give a lot of these lightweights problems, especially in Moicano, who I feel like striking is just pretty mediocre and pretty like not, bro, BSD with one eye, people forget, man, BSD with one eye was kind of tagging him up. Like, Moicano started strong, like, dominated good in the grappling and ground and pound stuff, but like, when BSD was on his feet with one eye, could barely see, he was still tagging up Moicano. I honestly think BSD would have beat him via just Marauder max striking. Just Marauder, not even intelligent striking, but Marauder max striking. Now, if you got someone like Ilia who has technical, tight pause. Why did I pause that? Tight technical abilities to get inside and throw multiple combos, he's inevitably going to get the knockout. So, he's going to, as you're going to see, he's going to knock out a lot of the people he beats, but yeah, Moicano, that's low difficulty knockout, easy win for Ilia Topuria. Moving on to the number 9 ranked guy, I got Dariush. The striking discrepancy, I just put a broken heart emoji because, brother, no dollar. Like, listen, the striking discrepancy is like, ugh. Like, it's not even that Dariush is a horrible striker, but even like his best striking performance that I think it was against Gamrot, like, he wasn't really throwing anything. He was just kind of throwing overhands. It was kind of just landing on Gamrot because Gamrot has no kind of inkling or understanding of like striking. So like, it looked good there, but like, the striking discrepancy is gonna be. And I like Dariush a lot, so I don't want Dariush to get chinned. But like, in this fight, it's just gonna be a long day for him. I know you got chinned by Arman and Charles back to back. Going against the Topuria, I just don't see his luck going to the best. I said Dariush will try to wrestle, but I don't know. Like, yes, you're gonna try to wrestle. Dariush wrestling entries aren't the best, but like, he like has good wrestling exchanges or like scrambles. That's what it is. If someone would shoot against him, he'll try to reverse you or something. But his entries himself, they don't really stick out to me of something that I feel like Ilia Topuria should be concerned by or concerned of. But no matter what way you slice the cake, I just see Ilia by KO, low difficulty. I like Dariush, bro. People hate Dariush for like no reason. Like, I figured that out. Like, I remember he was fighting one day and everyone was like, I hope this guy gets knocked out, man. Like, what the fuck are you on about? He's such a good guy. He's chill. He's a God-fearing man. The guy's cool, but unfortunately, your God-fearing Essex and all that is not going to be enough to get you a win over Ilia, who's also, you know, a religious man. But listen, styles make fights, and this style stylistically is bad. But speaking of bad stylistic matchups, the number 8 ranked guy is Paddy Pimblett. Lord have mercy. That's all. Lord have mercy. Tell me, brother, why, brother? Chat, I'll be real. If you guys told me, all right, can you get in the lab, man? Get in the lab. Build someone who's tailor-made to lose to Ilia. I was like, okay. So make the guy a scouser who believes he can't get knocked out. that. Give it first. That's a very important element of this. You got to give me someone who believes they can't get knocked out. That's one. Then I was like, make this guy have his chin in the air at all times. Just every single like second of the fight, make his chin in the air, and make when he throws his combos, his chin gets even higher in the air. All right. That's what I would have done, and I would have said, give him some hype so people believe that he's just the most cowabunga dude on the street, dude. Like, has to give him a surfer look, you know, a radical, yeah, fucking. And then Paddy comes out. Like, I'm not even trolling. I think Paddy was literally born on this world to get brutally knocked out by Ilia. And the fact that they have a little back and forth rivalry going on, I feel bad for Paddy. You know, actually, I was kind of critical of Paddy, but like, I'm starting to like, the more I see it's like edits of him and TikTok, I'm like, you know what? I was being kind of mean. I was being kind of hard on the guy. But this matchup, just keep Paddy away. Like, I understand hand sanitizable. Like, he's always talking that shit, but like, trust me, I'm the best. Like, Ilia's gonna go in there and just say, I'm the best. He's gonna chin him. I think this is very low difficulty. Like, I'm not even gonna say low diff. It's very low diff. Like, the difficulty for, man, this is like, I can't believe how much Paddy's style matches up to get absolutely destroyed and brutally slept by Ilia Topuria. It actually shocks me, you know, how like tailor-made he is for Ilia. It kind of makes me uncomfortable, you know, considering they have a rivalry and all that. But listen, if this fight ends up happening, which I kind of hope happens, I kind of hope Paddy keeps winning. And then just somewhere down the road, maybe when Islam's gone, we get Ilia versus Paddy. I just hope the hype's still there for the fight and they still hate each other, because I really feel as if that fight will deliver. I know they saw each other one time. They're all respect, man. Respect, man. It's I don't know why fighters do that. Like, oh, yeah, fuck you on Twitter, dude. But when I see you, dude, you know, saying respect, man. That's what they were doing. But I'm sure they still, since then, they like started taking jabs at each other again. So I'm sure they don't like each other. I just don't know what that was, you know. But yeah, this is just, Lord have mercy, tailor-made matchup for Ilia Topuria to absolutely put the beats on him like Dr. Dre, like hands on him too, like lots of bass. So we have to see if this fight ever happens. I kind of want to see it just for like research purposes, but we'll see. Number 8 ranked Paddy is just the easiest stylistic matchup for Ilia, probably, unfortunately. All right, going on to the number 7 spot. Gamrot will wrestle the entire time he's in this fight from start to finish. That's one thing I will respect Gamrot for. He does have a style. He does stick to it. Kind of similar to Khabib. Like, Khabib always said, yeah, I'm going to go in there and grapple. He always stuck to it, right? Same with Gamrot, but he's just not as effective as Khabib. So, like, when that like, wrestling style isn't working, he ends up like how he ended up in the Dariush fight, where like he just was getting stuffed and like brutally hurt. And then like the Dan Hooker situation, just like he beat Dan Hooker in my opinion. Like, they robbed him, to be fair. I'm gonna just be transparent, but he still ended up like not being able to score enough takedowns to a point where like you could have like solidified. I thought he won kind of clear, but to be fair, I get it, because like Dan Hooker was trying to keep it on the feet, and the judges like stuff on the feet better, I suppose. So yeah, but against Ilia, like I see something similar to like the Dariush fight, where like he's getting takedowns, sure, or like some of them just aren't landing. But like ultimately, Ilia's gonna find the shot and knock him out, because Dariush was dropping him with some telegraphed overhands. So someone like this who has a little bit more precise and like crisp overhands, they're gonna land to a point where like you're not gonna just get up afterwards or roll around. You're gonna get brutally slapped. So I got Ilia by 3rd or 4th round KO, mid difficulty, because I do feel like the first couple rounds is gonna be interesting, because I know Gamrot's physically strong and he's gonna mix it up. And Ilia, like I said, Ilia's not used to people mixing up the entirety of the fight with him. He's kind of used to them just, oh yeah, like Max Holloway standing for the entire time, and then he finds the timing, same with Volk, you know. And I feel like if you mix in wrestling, it's just going to lead to delaying the knockout punch if you're not a good striker like Gamrot. So that's what that's going to do. So like I think Ilia is going to beat him. I said mid difficulty just because of wrestling, but this could be also a very easy fight. We'll have to see, bro. But yeah, Ilia Topuria, he definitely smokes this dude pretty bad. But all right, we're going to the number 6 spot. Number 6 is Dan Hooker. Yeah, I was talking about the Paddy Pimblett being a tailor-made style. Like, the CKB stick and move won't be sufficient against Ilia. Like, Volk showed that, and Volk's movement's a lot better than Dan Hooker's, because Dan Hooker like kind of like goes, if he goes in counterclockwise, he just continues going that way when he's circling, whereas I feel like Volk is going counterclockwise and back to clockwise and kind of doing this stuff, you know, circling, kind of Carlos Uberg maxing. There's some CKB strikers who have like a better understanding of like when to like switch directions, but Dan Hooker kind of rotates the same side every single time. Ilia's gonna pick up a read on that pretty comfortably, and it's gonna be like the Volk fight but quicker. The only reason the Volk fight took a little bit longer to find the timing is because, like I said, Volk's movement's really good. Like, he goes side to side really well, he like feints really well, while Dan Hooker kind of does that lazy low kick feint and then circles the same way the entire time, which is how Michael Chandler caught him, because Michael Chandler was like, okay, you're just circling this one way, let me fake low and then go high. Ilia's gonna find the timing, boom 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 boom, he's gonna catch him on the 6 punch combo, and then he's going to knock him out brutally. So I think Ilia by KO is very low difficulty. Similar to the Paddy fight, this is almost a tailor-made matchup for Ilia, just because that CKB style, Topuria kind of already showed he could dispose of it. And now if you're doing the CKB style, just not to the extent of someone like Volkanovski, who's like a real champion, he's really in that, you're going to get chinned, brother. This is my opinion, brother, This is what I think. So I think Ilia Topuria, changes his face a little bit, maybe make him apologize in Octagon. And yes, brother, yes. Yeah, so I'm not going to lie. Already looking at the lightweight division, I'm like, bro, Ilia really has a good chance of putting the beats on a lot of these guys. And now we're entering the top 5. And what's weird about this top 5 is that there's some matchups that are like obviously getting difficult, but then some of them are pretty easy. But starting off for the number 5 spot, we got Poirier. This is where I think it could get difficult. Now, I want to preface that Ilia is the superior boxer as far as a technical standpoint is concerned. Like, Dustin Poirier can strike, all right? He can strike, but if you actually look at his boxing, he's striking very wide, kind of clubby punches. Like, I'm not saying Ilia Topuria's punches are straight punches, but he's a little bit more like, he torques a lot better when his punches, and he keeps it a little bit more tight. Like, everything about Ilia is a little bit more tight on the upper half, whereas I feel like Dustin's is kind of like a little bit loopy. Like, he'll go to the body, chin in the air, like kind of just trying to overwhelm you. If Dustin gets you against the fence, he'll unload on you. And if you get him against the fence and you get too confident, he will counter you and push you back. So I do want to say that Ilia is the better boxer as far as the technical standpoint goes, but I said if Dustin could turn this into a brawl, Dustin has moments like with Gaethje, with Mako Chandler. I know these guys aren't at the level of Ilia Topuria, but even with Islam, he had some of those situations where they kind of stand and trade in the middle of the ring, and then when Dustin gets in those, even with Dan Hooker too, he kind of has a habit of just kind of being the bully in those instances. And I feel like Ilia is going to be a little bit, like, he's shorter, of course, but he might be smaller size-wise, because Dustin looked pretty stocky in the Islam fight. So it'll be interesting to see how those bully boxing exchanges go. But I really think this is going to be a boxing match with just some clinches. I think both guys will use the clinch. I think Dustin might clinch him if he's panicking. Ilia might clinch him to mix stuff up. But I think Ilia is still going to knock him out. Because, like, the way Ilia knocked out Max, because I knew Max had a defensive problem. Dustin also has a defensive problem. No one's really going to address it, because his defense is not always bad. But when he gets into those slugfests, it's like his guard's like really down. But his defense from range is not bad when he does that little stupid, like, the fucking Taekwondo. I don't know the hell this is called, but like, it works sometimes. Like, if you're gonna blitz him, he's gonna try to do all that stuff. But if anyone's gonna catch you do that, it's gonna be Ilia Topuria. Like I said, Dustin does get hit a good amount of times in his fights, especially against good boxers like Max Holloway. Max Holloway destroyed him on the volume count. Max just didn't have the power to actually put him away. So yes, Max is landing on him with a lot of shots, but are those shots doing anything to sting Dustin? Not really. He did have Dustin hurting a little bit sometimes, but like most of the time, it's just like he's swinging at him and then like Dustin's eating him. I don't think Dustin's going to be able to eat Ilia Topuria's popping punches. So I do got Ilia by KO. I've noticed that Ilia's KOing a lot of these guys in my predictions, which I just feel like goes to Ilia's credit for being like so impressive in straight up boxing. I really feel like his boxing might be next level. So I do see him finishing a Dustin Poirier, who is number 5 ranked in the UFC. So this is a solid lightweight that he's going to beat. Moving on to the number 4 spot. We've seen this before, haven't we? We've seen this before. Unfortunately, we've seen it at a lighter weight class. Is it going to change in 155? No, I think Ilia's just going to probably carry a little bit more pop in his punches. It might happen a little bit earlier, chat. It might happen. We'll find out the 21st. What was Max saying that fucking we'll find out Saturday, man? Fucking hell, bro. Who's Joe? I would love another build-up. I wouldn't mind another build-up. No, I like Max. I don't want to see this again. But like we've seen this before. I think it goes the same way. It just maybe a little bit quicker at 155. If Ilia is really truthful with like, yeah, I feel more powerful. Trust me. I'm more powerful this way. Trust me. If I actually trust him, because he's always saying trust me. If I trust him, then this is probably going to end earlier. If he for some reason sucks, but I just doubt it. And I'm sorry. There's no way. Like Max, I can't even give him like. It's just that Max style kind of consists of like, yeah, you're gonna hit me, but my punches are gonna overwhelm you because mine are gonna come with like a higher volume. And I just knew that's why I was so insist. People thought I hated Max because I was like, he's gonna get knocked out. Kenny, he's never been knocked out though. Like, what are you talking about, dude? You're such a casual. I hate you so much. The only reason I knew he was gonna get knocked out was because he takes too much punches from people who just don't hit as hard as Ilia Topuria. I knew Ilia hits harder than everyone he's went against, so I knew it was gonna be a different outcome. So yeah, he would do the same thing to him at 155. Like I said, I'm not jumping at the bit to see this fight. It's not a good day seeing Max get knocked out, So yeah, let's just keep this matchup, brother, in our dreams. Maybe a little bit in our dreams in this YouTube video, and then brother, let's move. Now we're in the top 3, chat. The top 3 in the lightweight division. Number 3, we got Justin Gaethje. The thing about Gaethje that I want to preface is that Ilia is better everywhere, but the leg kicks of Gaethje always seems to be problematic for everyone. Fiziev's the only one I've seen deal with Justin Gaethje's leg kick the best, because he was timing catching it and then like kind of tripping him, and that's when he ended up in that awkward position where like he was kind of on top of Justin, kind of throwing punch. It was weird, but I've never seen someone counter his leg kicks that appropriately, and I know Ilia's not, because if you look at Ilia's stance, he's very heavy on that front leg, like very heavy on that front leg, to a point where Justin could really take that front leg and destroy it into pieces. Justin has like he doesn't respect his limbs, so like he throws everything into his low kick. Like people like Alex who don't turn their hip, he overturns his hip. Like he turns his hip he's trying to like go through your shin. It's so painful for, I know, him and his opposition, but that could really be problematic to Ilia early. But I just said Justin's poor habits will get timed. Justin always has poor habits. Like Fiziev wasn't able to keep up with it or like adapt to it, where he kept just dipping down to the same side, to the right side every time, always dipping down, always dipping down. You know, Max Holloway picked up on it, did a spinning back kick, hit him in the nose because he kept dipping there. And then Max was throwing uppercuts at it. Max has fight IQ, he picked up on it. Ilia does have fight IQ, he'll pick up on it, and eventually he's going to knock him out. I said Ilia by KO, and I said low to mid. The reason it's low is because stylistically the poor habits of Justin is going to get picked up on fairly quickly by Ilia Topuria, but I'm also saying mid because like the low kicks initially will be problematic, and low kicks do take away power in your pops, like power in your punches, so you punch with less pop. But I just feel as if, you know, he can't do that the whole fight. Like eventually Ilia is going to find the timing. You know, you could, I can't even say stick and move maxing for Justin, because he doesn't really have that. He doesn't really stick and move. When he throws low kick, he's kind of sitting there in front of you, which is why a lot of his low kicks get countered, because like he's just throwing a low kick in your face. Like he's not really doing it from range and circling. He's just throwing it right in front of you, and you're like, okay, let me just hit you with an uppercut. Boom. So Justin Gaethje is a wild card, but he's not good enough to be Ilia. Ilia's just kind of better everywhere. Ilia could even wrestle if he wanted to, but I know he wouldn't, because he's probably just like, oh my god, this is such a free win. This guy's just sitting in front of me doing these stupid punches and ducking down the same direction. Ilia by knockout. All right, now we're in the top two lightweights in the world. This one is an interesting matchup next that people thought might happen. It's the Charles Oliveira matchup. Now, I said Ilia will catch Charles on the feet, and I know it's inevitable just because Charles is very pressure heavy. Now, one thing about Charles, it doesn't matter who he's going against, he doesn't fear getting taken down, which is why against everyone he's always so forward on the pressure, because he trusts himself in full guard if he does get taken down, or half guard to throw up something threatening. So you even see with Islam, people thought like, oh, against Islam he's going to be a little bit more wary because of the takedown threat. No, he was kind of just running into Islam the whole time, trying to land some big elbows, jumping flying knees. But the thing about his pressure is just, he like pressures is not bad, but it's like ineffective in a way, because when he's pressuring, he kind of puts his body in a stupid situation to get countered. Like he'd be doing these flying knees or something, like flying knees up there, and like, I don't know why he does that. Like he's like, his pressure's fine. He's getting tagged up a little bit through his high guard. Sometimes he has a high guard up, but he's still getting punched through it or punched on the side of it. But I like his defense. He's an entertaining fighter when it matters. Yeah, but I just think his pressure is too heavy with lackluster defense to suffice against someone like Ilia Topuria, who's going to throw multiple punches. So he's going to punch through your guard, not just punch once, but he's going to boom, 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 boom. And then Ilia does a good job ripping to the body too. So up, boom, boom. And it's just going to be too problematic for Charles' fight style of just trying to pressure. Is Charles going to try to wrestle? Sure. I know Charles' wrestling looked decent against Michael Chandler, but I just think Michael Chandler, when he fatigues, he's just not the same person. Even, he's not hard to take down necessarily. He's just an explosive fighter. It'll be harder to take down Ilia Topuria than Michael Chandler. I put money on that. Michael Chandler is a good scrambler. Like if you get him in the air, he'll out scramble you. But if you just do a normal like trip, it's easy to get Michael Chandler down. It's not really easy to trip Topuria, but if you time a good double leg, you could get him down. But I just have a hard time seeing Charles just be able to wrestle fuck him. So I think Ilia by KO low or mid difficulty. It could be mid if like Charles, can maybe take him down and stall out a round, but I doubt that. And I said Ilia will fall up on the ground and pound. So when Ilia gets you hurt, he's not going to just stand there like this, just look down at you like other people, like Dustin, like the scared people do. He's going to jump on you. He's going to try to ground upon your face in the ball. He's probably not going to go for he might go for a submission, He did submit Bryce Mitchell. But he's going to follow up no matter what it is, whether it's ground and pound or a submission attempt. Ilia will hurt Charles and follow up. So I think Ilia by KO. So far, Ilia has KO'd everyone in the lightweight division that I predicted. Now we're getting to the final two, which you guys know is Arman and Islam. So first we're going to talk about Arman Tsarukyan, the number 1 ranked contender. And this is the first time I'm leaning away from Ilia Topuria winning a fight, and I'm leaning Arman by points. Now I'm going to explain why. The striking is closer than people are going to expect. I feel like people expect Ilia to have the significant striking advantage. I think it does favor Ilia, But I feel like Arman's very versatile. Like I feel like Arman's striking is non-traditional in the point where he's gonna throw weird kicks at weird angles, side kicks, question mark kicks, axe kicks, low kicks. He's just very. It's hard for a boxer specifically when you're trying to just find the range. When Ilia knocks out most of these people, they're trying to box with him. Josh Emmett was trying to box with him. He didn't knock him out, but he's beating him up. Max Holloway was trying to box with him. Volkanovski was trying to box with him for the most part, like stick and move. He was throwing some low kicks in there too. But the way Arman throws his low kicks and spinning attacks is just a little bit different. So it's hard for boxers to kind of set their feet and find their timing. So I feel like that's something people aren't going to look at. They'll be like, oh no, Arman can't strike. Arman can't strike, dude. I'm telling you, he's a little bit unique and different. But when you actually watch how he strikes, it's very effective. Kind of reminds you of like, this is not really a best example, but you guys know how like Aljamain Sterling at every end, like at start of every fight, like comes out with like push kicks and like he's just pressuring, just doing a lot of weird stuff, like switching stances. It's just awkward, and I feel like Arman has that kind of awkward hinge to him where he's just throwing weird kicks at weird angles, and it kind of like makes the people like, wait, what am I defending? And then a takedown comes in, and what the hell's happening? Now I'm getting wrestled, and that's my second point. Arman will wrestle and he will succeed. I do think he's gonna be physically stronger. This guy's literally built like, bro, he's built like me. Look at me, bro. I'm huge, dude. He's built like me, and if you're built like a real bad man, brother, dale. Nah, jokes aside though, like Arman's like a Superman build. He's strong as hell, and I do think he's gonna have the strength advantage over Ilia. So when he is having these awkward striking exchanges, then goes for wrestling and scores, I see him having a good time controlling Ilia compared to like a lot of other people. And I want to point that Arman's like the type to go on a ground and pound and just be vicious. Like he has probably the best ground and pound in the weight class. Like his ground and pound ability is very impressive. So I feel like if he does get Ilia down, he's not going to just stall like a Bryce Mitchell. He's going to try to punch your face in. He's going to use his strength to his advantage. So I do want to highlight that there. So I feel like the feet is like one thing. Yes, it favors Ilia, but not to the extent you probably think it does. And then I said that the clinch, the strength in the clinch, physical strength in the clinch, wrestling, takedowns, trips. Arman's really good, dude. Arman's really good. And I feel like both guys have similar endurance. I've seen both guys tired. I've never seen Arman as tired as Ilia, but most of the time Arman's fatigue stems from when he goes against other wrestlers and they're wrestling for a primary the entire time. When Arman's dictating the wrestling, has the superior wrestling, he rarely gets tired ever. So yeah, I think it's 70-30, and I'm leaning Arman by points. I don't think Arman's going to finish Ilia, but I think Arman's going to beat him by points. So this is my opinion, brother. So dial it, brother. Say what you want, brother. It doesn't bother me. Now that leads us to our last spot, chat. The champion, Islam Makhachev. And I think it's 60-40 leading Islam. Now you're going to see that Arman was 70-30 and Islam 60-40. I do believe Arman Tsarukyan is the hardest fight for Ilia Topuria in lightweight, not Islam, stylistically. And I'm going to explain why. So first here, I said Ilia does have the striking advantage because he could pick up on Islam's habit. One thing about Arman, he doesn't have like a bad habit of leaning back in a kind of sometimes a stationary line or leaning back in a certain direction, because that's going to help against someone like Ilia who like has like 6-punch combos and tries to land at the end of it. He's not really trying to land on his first punch or second punch. He's really trying to land on the third, fourth, or fifth. That's Ilia's goal when he sets up his boxing. Now, Islam's habit of leaning back, that's what's going to make that tendency of Ilia land better. Now, Arman doesn't do that. So Arman's a little bit more different and sporadic when he throws his kicks. So it's kind of hard for Ilia to even find that timing to even let his combo go. It's a lot different. That's why I feel like the striking advantage for Ilia against Islam would be a little bit more prevalent than the striking advantage for Ilia against Arman, because I feel like Islam's negative habits and his defensive abilities could lead to Ilia potentially catching him. That's why I think this fight will be close in that sense. Now, I said Ilia, now I did say Islam will mix it up. So I know Islam will use some wrestling and clinch, and that's what's going to make it difficult for Ilia, because Ilia, he's found his timing the best when he's the one dictating everything and is when it's a primary boxing match. If I'll be real, if Islam doesn't shoot, of course he's going to probably get chinned eventually, but Islam's ability to mix it up it's going to make, first of all, it's going to make Ilia second guess his boxing. You're not going to feel comfortable throwing your hands as much as freely as you usually do if you're worried about a takedown threat. That's just how life works. You're not going to be, oh yeah, I'm going to go in there and just knock him out and just jump. It's not how it works. But if there is that takedown threat, you're going to be hesitant. A lot of Ilia's knockouts, there wasn't really a takedown threat. Max wasn't really threatening anything. Neither was Volk. They just weren't really threatening anything. Josh Emmett wasn't. It was kind of just primary, just boxing, which is why he just put the beats on him like Dr. Dre, But Islam's going to mix it up, and I said he will be physically stronger. So that's back to the Arman point. The clinching, the grappling, the wrestling, it's all going to favor Islam a little bit more significantly, because I feel like Islam's going to have the brute strength advantage. So I said all this leads to probably a 60-40 Islam. I'm not as confident in this as I am in the Arman pick, but I am pretty confident in the fact that I do think Islam will win, because I think Islam is going to be too much to deal with for Ilia Topuria. Maybe if Islam wasn't wrestling, then it would be a different story. But brother, this is not boxing, this is MMA, man. A wise man once said that, who's a real bad man. And I'm gonna jack that quote, because that quote is very true. So that brings me to the overall how do I say this, summary if Ilia does, well, he is going to 155, but Ilia honestly would be a great fit at 155, even if he started here. He beat a lot of these guys. The only two challenges for Ilia to me is Islam and Arman. Everyone else, I'm not saying they're not challenges, but they just have a really long day in for them to think they're going to beat Ilia Topuria. Kind of similar to the other video. Islam, the only challenges I really had for him was Brady and Bilal and maybe a Kamaru Usman, you know, but that's about it. So these two, Ilia and Islam, man, they're both two special people. I know the fan bases hate each other. As someone who likes both of them, they're really good, bro. But there's always those couple names in the other divisions I could have a chance against them. I'm not saying Ilia would 100% lose to Islam and 100% lose to Arman. I'm not saying Islam would 100% lose to Brady or 100% lose to Bilal or any of these guys. I'm just saying these are the challenges, in my opinion, that I feel like are going to bring the best out of them and make them work for it to earn it. Is it possible that Ilia could beat Islam? Yes, but it's probably going to stem from puncher's chance, and I just don't like to lean puncher's chance because I believe if I lean puncher's chance, it's just me going off a chance when I feel like Islam just has more paths to victory. So I do think 60-40 Islam for this fight, and I do think Islam will retain when he fights him because this fight is pretty much said and done. So let me know what you guys think about Ilia in the lightweight division. I honestly think this guy could have been a real bad man. I mean, he's already going to be in the division, so if he somehow pulls this off, chat, brother, dale. I can't hate on that. I'm not gonna be like, oh man, fuck. I'm gonna be upset because my boy Islam lost, but you know, it's just time will tell, I feel like. But you know, let me know what you guys think about these matchups. That's all from me, bro, and God bless. 2, 3